Hi, it's Olivia, and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in January, though I've already kind of shown and talked about a few of them, as well as some books that I plan to read for the month of February. So I decided to start 2020 with a horror novel. I hope that doesn't set the tone for the year, but I read A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. So this book feels like modern horror movies, kind of like it feels like Exorcism meets Paranormal Activity kind of vibes, because his family has, the daughter is displaying signs of schizophrenia, and then it leads up to an exorcism, but then also they end up filming it for a TV show. And it's in this, like the perspective of the sister, Mary, as she recounts what happened. There are moments where I would read it and I'd sit there from and be like, that was disturbing. That was a little messed up. While reading this, I can kind of imagine like the ominous, creepy horror music that's playing in the background. But maybe it's just the format, but I don't really consider myself as someone who would get scared by a book. And whether it's because I'm clueless and can't figure things out on my own, or because I'm newer to the horror genre, I was taken by surprise by the last like 30 pages. I was completely surprised and I was left like, okay. Wow. I will say it's short, but it still felt long, and that's not good for me. I don't like it when things, even though they're short, they feel like they're stretching on. There's scenes that I didn't know if they were even needed, but I'm happy I read it. I don't really know many other people who have, so if you have, please let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. So the next book I read is Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I hope my year is more defined by like this book, and the whole vibe of my year is more like this one as opposed to the previous book. But anyway, as you can see, I did deface this one, and that's what my last video is on. So if you want to check that out, in that video I link in the description to my full review on Goodreads. But very quickly I can say I thought this book was wonderful. As you can imagine, it resonates so much with me as a Black woman about to graduate college, and just, you know, there's so many things I have on my mind, and her experiences were beautiful to see. Well before Barack shows up, her life is so interesting to learn about, and this is just such an empowering and inspiring read. She is the kind of person who I imagine so many people would love to meet and talk with, and this book feels like the next best thing. It feels like she's talking to you, and so I so appreciate this book. The next book I read is You by Carolyn Kepnes. I don't think it needs much of an introduction. You know, the show is popular. I just finished season 1 after reading this. So I give this 2 stars on Goodreads, but it's the perfect example of how stars don't exactly give a good reflection of your feelings towards a book, because I can tell you I was very entertained by this for most of the book. It was messed up, but also I have to say there's parts that were funny, and it was gripping. You know, just the basic premise of the stalker and what he would do to get what he wants, or get with who he wants. You want to see how it ends. But aside from that, it didn't really leave much else of an impact on me. The characters were just not it for me, and some of the statements that the character would say, I know he's got his issues, but still, if you watch my vlog, you know, I mentioned this one passage where he said something to the effect of he wished he could pick her up by the collarbone, and I can't understand what that means. The next book that I read is Make Time: How to Focus on What Matters Every Day by Jake Knapp and John Saratsky. This is a kind of self-help book that is all about really figuring out how to best use your time and focus on your priorities and make the most of your day. And that could seem kind of like a self-help cliche, but what caught my attention is they provide 87 different tactics. Like, they literally list 87 different tactics that you can try to work on, and they have a specific method that they use. And I'm going to try it. I'm working on this project. It's one of the reasons why I picked this up. Their jobs, you know, one of them's worked at Google before, one's worked at YouTube, and sometimes I feel like their stuff didn't apply beyond like the office setting or beyond their settings, but there were some things they were just a really great reminder, and I really enjoyed getting just that reminder. So I'd recommend this as well, and it's very easy to read and get through, and there's little illustrations, so I'm glad I read this too. And then lastly, I finished this today, and today's February 1st, so I guess it's my first read of February. Very fitting, because it's Little Leaders, Exceptional Men in Black History. I will always talk about these books and rave about Vashti Harrison. She is honestly like an inspiration to me. She's definitely one of my favorite illustrators. Her work is just stunning, and I love the kind of stuff the kind of projects that she works on, so I will always talk about these books. Coming up for February is Blackathon, and I also heard of the Black Love-a-thon. I'm not good at like following the specific challenges and stuff and keeping up with things, so I kind of just have a couple of books in mind, and I hope that they'll satisfy challenges for both of those readathons. One of the books that I've been meaning to get to forever is The Stars and the Blackness Between Them. I've heard nothing but good things about this, and I was sent it a couple months ago. So if you've read this or are planning to read this, please let me know. Also, I need to, I had put this on hold a little while ago, but Kindred by Octavia Butler, there is actually a movie coming out called Antebellum with Janelle Monáe, and the trailer is kind of trippy.
Hello? Hello?
I'm sinking in my chair, don't mind me. And it looks like it's modern day and like the South during the time of slavery, and it seems to have almost like a thriller, maybe even horror vibe. And so I'm surprised that nowhere in the trailer does it say that it's inspired by or an adaptation of Kindred, because that's either, if you look at the comments too, there's a lot of people who are wondering if it's like a Kindred adaptation, so I don't know, but I really hope to finish this. This is like my priority. And then for some romance, I think it's time I finally read something by Beverly Jenkins. This is Rebel. I have another book by her, but Goodreads says that it's book number 3. It's called Destiny's Captive, so I guess I don't know about that one. But that's what I have today, and let me know your thoughts on any of these books, what you plan to read, and I will see you in another video. Bye.